Someone said something to you, probably before you were 12 years old, that is still running your decisions today. You don't consciously remember it, but it's there, and it might be quietly tearing down everything you're trying to build. Stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to show you is going to change the way you see yourself, for good. I spent years trying to figure out why smart, hardworking people with every resource they needed, just stalled. They'd get right to the edge of what they wanted and then pull back, or they'd actually get it and then wreck it. Relationships, money, health, all of it. And what I kept finding was that the problem was never a lack of strategy. It was never a lack of discipline. It was the story they believed about themselves. There's a concept in psychology called narrative identity. The idea is simple. Your mind doesn't work like a camera capturing reality as it actually is. It works more like a film editor. It handpicks the moments that confirm the story you've already decided is yours. Let me show you what that looks like in real life. If at some point growing up, someone told you that you were disorganized, irresponsible, unlucky, too smart for your own good, or that people like us don't end up with money, your mind filed that away as the script, and ever since it's been editing your entire life to match it. You lost your keys once, evidence. You showed up late to a meeting, more evidence. You tried something new and it didn't work on the first try, case closed. But here's the part that should really get under your skin, and I'm going to dig into this more in a minute. When someone else goes through the exact same situations, their mind edits the story in a completely different direction. Think of your identity like the operating system on your phone. The apps you download, your habits, your choices, your relationships, they all run on top of that system. And if the system is riddled with bugs, it doesn't matter how many times you update the apps, they're going to crash the same way every time. Most people spend their whole lives trying to fix the apps. They download a new productivity system, they start a new diet, they get into a new relationship thinking this time will be different. And at first, it works. It always works at first. But the operating system hasn't changed, and sooner or later, it pulls everything right back to where it was. I'm going to be straight with you here. There is a fundamental difference between two statements that sound almost identical. The first, I failed at this. The second, I'm a failure. The first is an event. The second is an identity. And our minds are terrible at keeping those two things separate. They generalize at a terrifying speed. One rejection becomes nobody wants me. One bad financial decision becomes I'm just bad with money. One rough patch becomes nothing in my life ever works out. And the exact moment that shift happens, the moment an event becomes an identity, is the moment self-sabotage takes the wheel. Because your mind will do absolutely anything to stay consistent with who it believes you are. Anything. You start making more money, it'll manufacture an urge to blow it. You find yourself in a relationship that's actually good for you, it'll find a reason to blow that up too. You start gaining real momentum in your career, it'll flood you with the fear of being found out as a fraud. That last one even has a name. We call it imposter syndrome when it shows up at work, but really it's something much bigger than that. It's your identity at war with your own growth. And now here's the part that's actually going to set you free. Because that operating system, it can be rewritten. Not overnight, not with some feel-good affirmation, but in a way I'm going to show you right now that is surprisingly straightforward and genuinely powerful. But first, I have to ask you something. Have you ever actually paid attention to how you talk about yourself when you mess up? Notice the language you use when things go wrong. I always do this. That's so me. I can never get it right. I'm just terrible at this. Those words carry more weight than most people realize, because always and never are identity words. They don't describe a moment, they define a person, and your mind takes them at face value. Here's the thing. Real change doesn't start with saying positive things to yourself in the mirror. It starts with something much more concrete, catching the generalization in the act. The next time you mess something up and your brain says, "I always do this," stop. Take a breath and correct it internally. I did this time. It sounds small, it sounds almost too simple to matter, but what you're actually doing is separating the event from the identity. You're putting the mistake back where it belongs, in the past, and leaving your identity free to be shaped by who you choose to be right now. This isn't letting yourself off the hook. It's not dodging accountability. It's the opposite. It's taking ownership of who you're becoming instead of letting your past call the shots. If you've made it this far, you already know this isn't your typical self-improvement content. And honestly, there are a lot of people out there who need to hear this. People who are stuck, who are getting in their own way, who are living way below their potential. If that sounds like someone you know, share this video with them. Sometimes the right message at the right moment changes everything. Now I want to take this somewhere most videos on this topic never go. Your identity isn't just shaped by what happened to you. It's shaped by the story you told yourself about what happened. Two siblings grow up in the same house with the same parents, facing the same hardships. One grows into a resilient adult. The other carries those wounds for the rest of their life. Why? Not because of the experience itself, but because of the meaning each of them assigned to it. One decided, "That made me stronger." The other decided, "That broke me." And here's the part that changes everything. You can still choose the meaning, even for things that happened decades ago. The story isn't finished. You're still the author. That doesn't mean pretending the hard stuff didn't happen. It means refusing to let the hard stuff have the final say over who you're going to be. Viktor Frankl survived concentration camps and wrote that the last of the human freedoms is the ability to choose your own response to any given circumstance. If he could choose the meaning of what he lived through, so can you. I want to give you something to actually do with this. It's simple, but it's too powerful to skip. Grab a piece of paper or open your notes app. Right at the top, who have I decided to be? Not who other people said you were. Not who you were in your past, who you are choosing to be. Write it in first person, present tense, as if it's already true. I am someone who grows through failure. I am someone who builds through consistency. I am someone who deserves good things and knows how to receive them. This isn't delusion. This is intentional reprogramming. You are giving your operating system a new script to run. And here's the step that makes this actually work. You have to act in line with that new script even before you fully believe it. The belief doesn't have to come first. Action creates evidence. Evidence creates belief. Belief rewires identity. But before I wrap up, I need to ask you something that might sting a little. What story are you using as an excuse? Not as an explanation, as an excuse. I had a rough childhood. I never caught a break. The people around me never believed in me. All of those things might be completely true, and they can still be the chains keeping you stuck. Because as long as the blame lives outside of you, so does the power. And you'll keep waiting for someone or some lucky break or some perfect set of circumstances to come along and rescue you from a story that only you have the power to rewrite. If this video hits something you've never quite been able to put into words before, I need you to do one thing right now. Hit that like button. It's not just a number to me. It tells the algorithm that this kind of content is worth putting in front of more people who need it. And if you're not subscribed yet, now's the time. There's a lot more coming that you won't want to miss. The identity you're carrying today wasn't chosen by you. It was built by experiences, by things people said, by fears you picked up along the way, by stories you repeated so many times you forgot they were stories. But the identity you carry from here, that one's yours to choose. Every single day, every single decision, every single time you catch a generalization before it hardens into a belief. You are not your past. You are what you decide to be starting now. And that decision starts the second this video ends. See you in the next one.